Cruisin' from the Menor Cruisin' in Menor. Yeah, I know, it's kind of redundant, but it starts right now. Welcome to Cruisin'. Today we've set up shop at the 16th annual Menor Cruisin' at this Civic Park. I'm Bill Barranque, and we have so many cars here. We got here early, already filling up the place. We have parking lots, we have grass filled with cars, all sorts of classics, and we have some really unique things you aren't going to see at a lot of other places, so let's check them out. The first thing, I'm sure, I don't know if you ever get this question, but could you please pronounce your license plate?
Of course. You have to have the diabolical laugh.
Because nothing screams fun like a Deathmobile.
Exactly. See, you understand.
This is your third one. What is it about Hearst?
The looks. The looks. You look, everybody looks. If you pan around, everybody's looking. It's a scene. I'm a scene kind of guy.
So it's a Cadillac.
It is.
And you have a Corvette engine in this Hearst.
This model year was powered by the LT1 Corvette engine. So it's basically a Corvette that hauls dead folks.
Are there a lot of Hearst racing that you need a Corvette engine?
No, but funny story, it has been on the racetrack. It has been at the drag strip with photos and smoky burnouts, and it's a scene everywhere it goes.
When did you start getting drawn to Hearst?
Probably about 6 years ago. You know, it's just the notoriety.
But yeah, how did it start?
I'm a Halloween person to begin with. And what's better than a Hearst for Halloween? You know, it goes together.
So what's different about this one than your others?
Well, it's actually very good condition. It came from Montana, super low miles for the year. Everything is spotless, top and bottom.
Every good car, every new collector car needs a skeleton in the window?
Absolutely, and that's Jiminy Ricketts. He's my co-pilot / GPS.
Tell me about the interior. You said it was in great condition, but what do you like about it?
You know what, the classic blue cloth. You don't see cloth interior anymore, and when you do, it's corduroy, it's rough, it's coarse. This, aged like iron. It's from '96, and there's never been a thing done to it, and it looks brand new.
It's a big hit with the valet?
Absolutely. It's been to places, and there are certain people that just won't touch it when you valet park, and they don't know what to do with it, and the first thing they look at is the back. What's in the back? And they ask you, what's in the back? Oh, nothing. And if there is any noise, just ignore it, please. It's fine.
Why do you have a driving coffin?
Well, you laugh as you ask the question, but that answers the question. Why wouldn't you have a mini coffin to go with your show Hearst? And when you get tired of sitting around, you hop on and you ride around.
What are the more fun things you've heard when you stop this car somewhere? Because you take it to work.
I drive it to work. It makes for an interesting display at the auto parts store. Customers, did somebody die? Or at the condo complex, are you lost? The drive-thru at Burger King. What's in there? You know, it's nonstop. It's nonstop. The gas station, it's either, hey man, that's cool, or are you gonna be late? I don't think there's a problem with that. It's okay. It's okay.
In all your years of driving, have you seen a car with a better name?
No, I love this name. The kids love it, everybody loves it. They don't get it. They really don't. You tell somebody that's my thing, and they think it's something weird, and you have to then explain the name thing.
And then you show the car, and you're like, yeah, it's something weird.
It is something weird, right? It's a funny.
So you were looking at Jeeps?
Looking at Wranglers, yeah.
And how'd we end up with this?
I saw it on Wheeler Dealers on TV, and the kids, I showed them, and we found it on Craigslist, actually, and then messaged the guy. Long story short, first time I've ever bought a car online or had a car shipped, but had it shipped and it was wonderful. It's everything the guy said it was.
I'm guessing it's nothing like anything you've driven before?
Nothing like anything. I love driving it anytime the weather's good. I even I have no heat. So anytime I drive it near the winter time, I heat some pads up in the microwave and stick them behind my back and underneath my seat and then drive in the winter time.
So what's the farthest distance you'll go in winter, like 15 minutes?
From here, yeah, school and back to home, that's it. As soon as the heating pad cools, I'm out.
What are some of the things that really catch your eye when you're in it?
That's the biggest thing that catches my eye. When you drive anywhere, it makes people smile and laugh. Everybody, anywhere, my daughter loves it. She goes, that person just gave us a thumbs up, or that person's waving. Somebody's waving or smiling every time they see it.
So many interesting things about this car. The selling point was the fact that you could just pop the doors off?
Pop the doors off, take them right off, and drive around. Yeah, that's it. No top. I love the car. I've never had a convertible. It is, you wait all that time for your first convertible, and I couldn't ask for a better convertible.
I mean, if you want to talk basic cars, I mean, it doesn't get more basic inside, right?
No, this is that's what I teach the kids, right? We're not driving for comfort when we're going somewhere. We are uncomfortable on the seats. It's not easy on the body by any means. There's not much in there. No, I don't have AC. That's what she's in. My daughter's in the van right now because there's air conditioning. I said, I have the best air conditioning. It's all natural air. There's no air.
When you talk about German innovation, I think the first thing that comes to mind is running the washer fluid with the spare tire for air pressure.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, push the button and but I thought about that after I learned that's the deal, but once you run the washer fluid enough, do you then not have a spare? Because you used all the air in the spare, right? That was kind of odd to me, but that is German innovation.
You look at the engine. I mean, the thing about the VWs from the late 60s, early 70s, if you're a guy that works on the car, you got some room.
Yeah, that's terrific. They come out in 4 bolts, 15 minutes. You can really do a lot of stuff. They're really open.
What have you had to do with it?
Since I got it, the summer I drove it, everything was cool until the end, and the motor kind of went to pot. So that last winter, I rebuilt the motor entirely. Sandblasted all the tins to bare metal, painted them all yellow so it looks kind of nice. It runs, which I have to really stress to anybody and everybody, I've never seen the inside of an engine before. I have to be crystal clear. That's really fun for me to share because I kind of take some pride in that. I've never seen the inside of an engine. My brother and my father are absolute car guys. They do this, but they didn't help. I watched videos and I read a bunch of books. I rebuilt the whole motor myself.
This car was sold like it could basically go anywhere. It looks like one of those amphibious cars. Have you tried the lake?
Right, no, I've not tried the lake. That's not no. There's a few holes that I don't want to test. That's right. Yeah, no. There's a guy on my street who has his thing is V-dubs, and he says, long as you drive it, that's all that matters. He goes, then you work on the stuff when you can, and that's all I want to do. I want to be able to drive it. That's why I'm not parked somewhere in a garage right now.
We're just getting started. We have so much more to check out from the Men Are Cruising. Stick around.
Closed captioning provided by Blue Line Classics, home of the original Sanford & Son TV truck. Conveniently located in North Royalton, Ohio, we specialize in buying and selling antique, classic, and muscle cars and trucks. If you're interested in selling your classic car or looking to purchase a new classic, call us today.
Welcome back to Menor, Ohio for the Men Are Cruising on Cruising. Sure, you could take out the Corvette or one of the other cars, but this is what you decided to drive.
Yeah, 1986 GV Yugo. GV stands for great value. Wendy actually found it in the swap meet area, and she goes, there's a car over here I think you're going to be interested in buying. And she takes me over, and sure enough, as soon as I saw the car, there's a lot of people standing around it, and I waited till the guy, all the people left, and I shot the guy an offer, and he looked at me and goes, you're serious? I go, yeah, I'm very serious. He goes, you want to buy the car? I go, yeah. So I bought the car right then.
Why do you fall in love with the Yugo?
How could you not? It's just an awesome, it has such personality, and it's just different. It's different. Everybody remembers a Yugo, and not always the good things they remember, but.
What strikes you about this car, though? Once we get past like the personality, what do you really love about it?
It's just a fun car to drive, and it's really fun to watch people when they go by you pointing and laughing.
Everybody point.
They go, look at that, a Yugo, and it runs.
You say that like a surprise.
Oh, it is. We love it like it's a son or a daughter.
An unreliable son or daughter?
Yeah, it's fine.
No, wait a minute. There are all these amazing Yugo jokes.
Yeah.
But you're sick of them.
I've heard them all.
But you bought the book that talks about how horrible, you have 2 books about how horrible this car is.
Yeah, the craft car book too. The Yugo on the cover, I'm quite proud of that.
So you were showing us some of the special features. One is the dowel rod.
Oh yeah, that's the window prop to hold the vent window open. Because otherwise, the vent window opens, but going down the road, the air pushes it shut. So you have to put this in it to hold it open.
So how many more car shows is this Yugo going to see?
I just got it running this week, and now you're asking me how many car shows. I don't know. How many it'll never make till it breaks down.
Well, at least after all these years, you were able to get yourself that $4,000 car you always dreamed of.
Yes, it was a dream come true to get this baby. And only 2 more payments and it'll be paid off.
So from what I gather is you go to buy some books and you end up with a classic car.
That's right. I found this car sitting in a barn outside of Columbus, Ohio, on a lead from some old car books. The gentleman mentioned that his acquaintance had an old Kaiser parked in the back of a barn. I went, took a look at it, there it was, and I bought it.
So what struck you about this car?
Well, it's a fiberglass car. They only made 435 of them. Today, about 250 exist, so I knew I had to have it.
Now you've got other Kaisers. What's special about the Darren?
The Darren, because it's fiberglass and it has the sliding doors, this is the only American production car that has doors that actually slide into the fenders.
Which seems really cool, but it didn't catch on. So what's the problem with the sliding door?
It's hard to get in and out of the car. A big tall guy like me with the top up on the car, it's kind of funny watching me get in and out of the car. It's a process.
The engine, you look at this and you're like, this has to have a massive engine. It's like,
yeah,
no, it's just got a lot of room.
It's an 85 horsepower 6-cylinder engine. The car wasn't made for speed, but it was kind of more like a boulevard cruiser rather than a true sports car, although the car was advertised as the Kaiser Darren sports car.
What struck me too, when you get inside, and it's such a really cool interior, and you're looking at the gauges and they spell out in case the needle on empty, they spell out empty.
Yeah, you had to know how to read. Not like today where it's all idiot lights. Back then, you had to know how to read.
What do you like about the interior?
It's comfortable. You can drive this car all day long at 60 miles an hour. It'll deliver 25 miles a gallon, and it's just a comfortable car to drive. Plus, it's different than everything else on the road. I get a lot of thumbs up. I get a lot of people going, what is it? I've never seen one, or they say, I've only seen one in a picture. Can I touch it? This car was introduced 3 weeks ahead of the Corvette, so it is the first production fiberglass sports car.
Up next,
we found a rust-free original 64 Mustang deck lid.
The Buckeye guys are next on Cruisin'.
Welcome to Cruisin' with the Buckeye guys. Again, I have Mustang number 139 in front of me. Extremely rare Mustang pre-production. They're known as 05C cars. They were built in February and March of 1964. All the parts in this car are early stampings or completely different than factory. And I'm going to introduce you guys Jeff here, who works for Buckeye at the shop here. And he's going to explain what he did on the quarter panels here to get them to fit. This Mustang in front of me is absolutely an early car. It's going to be absolutely pristine when it's done.
I replaced from here all the way back up into here. Here's the old piece of the inner. As you can see, it's pretty rotted out. And this is the outer piece, which is gone too. But anyways, yeah, we leave it, put the car on a suspension so everything stays where it's supposed to be. Cut it, butt weld it in, and it's a time-consuming process. But then underneath here, we had to make new vents because they're different on this particular car. The inside, it'll look smooth and clean after it's all done. And you'll never know it was worked on.
On Mustang number 139, there was some damage to the deck lid on the car, and it was too hard to fix. So what we've done, we found a rust-free original 64 Mustang deck lid. And what Jeff is doing here is restoring the deck lid with the original parts from Mustang number 139, because the lock area is completely different and the stamping's different in this area. So we're making an original deck lid work for the car and to restore the historical significance of the parts being used. The reason why he's doing it like that while welding is you do not want to warp the panel, so he's staggering the welds. And then he'll cool it down as well too here. It's a very difficult process and very time consuming to weld like this. Most restoration shops will take shortcuts and overlap the panels. At Buckeye Classic Car Restoration, we do not do that. We properly replace sheet metal patches by butt welding them in. We'll show you the quarters on this car too, how they're repaired and how they're butt welded, so you cannot see they were done. So it makes it a seamless panel. Very professional, very time consuming. And if you want a concours restoration on a historical automobile of this nature, you can see how it's done. A Buckeye Classic Car restoration. So what Jeff's going to do here right now is he's going to cool the weld. Reason being is we don't need it to warp. So just cooling it down with compressed air is the only way to restore a car properly. Also, the date codes were transferred to the deck lid as well, and you can see them up on here. When we're doing this here, butt welding, the metal is very thin, so Jeff's taking his time here, welding the patch in. And once it's all welded in, he'll grind it smooth to a flawless finish. As we're butt welding all the replacement panels in this pre-production Mustang, when this car is done, and the significance of this car, how rare it is, it'll be a Pebble Beach quality, museum quality work. This car here done will be absolutely 100% correct and absolutely gorgeous and flawless. In closing here, you've seen how we replaced the quarter panels on the 64.5 pre-production Mustang 05C car. This car is absolutely fantastic. The sheet metal work here that Jeff is doing is going to be first class. At Buckeye Classic Car Restoration, we can do all your sheet metal needs. Give us a call at 330-533-4757, located in Canfield, Ohio.
Coming up.
The goal for Nissan was to create an Italian-looking car.
Next on Cruising.
Closed captioning provided by Blue Line Classics, home of the original Sanford & Son TV truck. Conveniently located in North Royalton, Ohio, we specialize in buying and selling antique, classic, and muscle cars and trucks. If you're interested in selling your classic car or looking to purchase a new classic, call us today.
Now back to the Men Are Cruising in Mentor, Ohio on Cruising.
It's a Nissan Figaro, a 1991. So it's only made for the one model year. And the goal for Nissan was to create an Italian-looking car down to the name, the Italian opera Figaro. And so it has kind of a Fiat look to it, but it's all Japanese technology. It has a 4-cylinder turbo engine, and the color is pale aqua. And the white hubcaps kind of brings out the blue, and the top is also white. And so it's right-hand drive. It's called a JDM. JDM stands for Japanese Domestic Market. And so you couldn't buy it anywhere but Japan. And you had to get a lottery ticket because there was so much demand. There were 20,000 made. And so the ones that exist now are either in Japan, England, which is where I found this, and now because of the 25-year rule, now they're legal. So they were not legal until 2016. So once the car becomes 25 years old, you don't have to get EPA testing, no safety testing, anything goes after 25 years. So I waited until it was 25 years old.
All right, so is this a car you've been hunting for a while?
Yes.
Why? What do you love about this?
It's just so different and whimsical. I thought it's like the opposite of a muscle car, and I just thought that it was kind of clever, and the color was cool, pale aqua. I just wanted something that like nobody had.
But I mean, it's a 91, but it looks like it's like 71 in the interior.
Correct. It has some old styling cues and some modern cues. So it's a combination. Most people think it's from the 50s or the 60s.
Because you got the little switches. I mean, what's it like to drive?
Well, it's got toggle switches, so you're sitting over here on the right, but it's so small, it's almost like you could lean over and roll the window down from the left. So if it was a big Cadillac, a big old American boat, it would be difficult. But being so small, it's not hard. It's almost like driving a go-kart.
When you're inside, what's your favorite part of the interior?
My favorite part of the interior is it's got kind of a James Bond dashboard and just kind of real European or Italian. And it has toggle switches, and you're sitting over here in all leather interior. And so the top comes back. I like to get the air. And so my hair gets in my eyes sometimes because it's such my thick hair. So I have to watch out for that. And people videotape me when I drive by, or you give me thumbs up, or you take pictures of me. So it's just kind of, you have to be kind of friendly when you drive it.
What I think is really kind of mind-boggling is how small does someone have to be to actually use the back seat?
You'd have to be like a small dog or a cat, I think, yeah. The Japanese tax purposes, when they made these things, if you have a back seat, you get preferential treatment from a tax standpoint.
I only see one, well, there are two very small things on this car that say Nissan. You
Right.
almost need a magnifying glass to know who made it.
Right, because they just called it a Figaro. They didn't really call it a Nissan Figaro. So you have to really look at the real small print there. You can see the Nissan. But they didn't really market it as a Nissan. They marketed it as a Figaro. But the good thing about this compared to a real Fiat, or a real old Italian car, I should say, though this looks like an old Italian car, you really can't drive an old Fiat too far without probably breaking down. So this has the quality, you know, of a Japanese car in the mid-90s, early 90s, but with the look of an old Fiat. So it's kind of like a combination. Okay, it was not a Fiat, but it's made to look Italian.
The Men Are Cruising is such an amazing event that, well, you got to talk to the event manager, Nick Standering. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. This, 16 years?
Yes, 16, our 16th annual Men Are Cruising.
How'd we get this started?
Well, it was started 16 years ago by our Mentor City Council, and it's just blossomed ever since.
And it is always the second Saturday in August.
Correct, yep. It's always the second Saturday, 10 to 4. So we'll see you next year on the second Saturday.
Sure will. And you will see us next year here, but you're also going to see us next week for another cruising. I'm Bill Barranque. Thank you so much for joining us.